Oh, heck yeah. That is the theme song, St. Ricketts. With Fire Cannot Burn, www.saintricketts.com. I'm out of breath, Jewel, because I just ran up the steps, had to grab my hat and come back. Whew, my God, am I out of shape. Let's cut off the
Oh,
voice there.
good.
St. Ricketts. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tuesday night, which means live 100%. Brand new episode of The Yo Show.
You.
You. I am Jeff the Shark Perini. Without my name on there. What happened? When you put my name on there? I stink at this stuff, I swear to God. Anyway, well, let's get Mike. Oh, you know what? I still have Mike's banner up there. Okay. Yep, this is where the pros come, ladies, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, it is Tuesday night. We are live. Jeff the Shark Perini, the Yo Show. With me, as always, she is the co-hostess with the mostest, the sister from another mister, and continuing the trend tonight of just the absolute most beautiful face in all podcast, webcast, broadcast, simulcast, bodycast. I'm out of cast. Jewel Tatey, ladies and gentlemen. Jewel, good evening.
Good evening, Jeff. How are we doing tonight?
I am terrible. I feel like I'm so discombobulated. I have no idea why. I was doing great, and all of a sudden, I forgot my hat, forgot my drink, forgot this, forgot that. You know why? It's nerves. That's what.
Yes, I hear
Very
you.
nervous.
I
Very
hear you.
nervous for the night. Jewel informed me that she was catching up earlier today on the program, and I got to tell you, why not? Our guest tonight is not only an incredible musician from like the number one tribute band in all the world, Back in Black, but he also has the number one most purchased video on Amazon, my stupid tribute band. Coming up at 8:30 tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Mr. Michael Mraz. Yes. Sure, I could not be more excited. I caught this band in Nashville. We got to Nashville. First night, my wife said, it's my birthday. I'm going to do something great. And I'm looking, and I walk to a local breakfast spot. Oh, I feel you, dude. They are awesome. I love this band so much. I'm so excited for this. It's driving me crazy. So I walk down to the local breakfast spot, and they have, like the Nashville Times or Nashville whatever the heck it is. So I start looking for things to do. And I'm going through, I'm like, wow, rooftop bar, AC/DC tribute band, Back in Black. Okay. Of course, you got to get it past the wife. It's her birthday. So I go back to the room and I'm like, look, I got you breakfast. I lay out this nice big breakfast spread while she's in bed. And I'm like, I think I got plans for tonight. If you're down, I said, I don't know how much you love AC/DC. I said, but there's an amazing AC/DC tribute band playing at a rooftop bar roughly about 10 minutes away. And without even flinching, she said, let's do it. And the rest we'll talk about when Mike gets here. Soap opera stars in the audience. Great bar, packed house. We met a great opening act, and that gentleman from the opening act is going to be on our show in a few weeks as well. Mike's already backstage. Mike, if you don't mind, give us a few minutes. We're just going to do a couple of things, and then we'll hop in. He got here early. I tell you got to love when the talent gets here early. They're prepared. They're ready. The dogs are going crazy upstairs. They're excited for Back in Black. I apologize. The wife is out of the house, and Instacart is dropping off my food to the front door. So they hear a body, they got to go nuts. Instacart, Jewel, is the greatest investment ever. $100 a year. You shop every day if you want. They bring the food to your door. It's incredible. Unfortunately, it does make the dogs go nuts. We do here every week a top 5 list, and we try to get the top 5 list a little bit associated with the guest. So tonight, I covered all the bases, so children say, you didn't say that. Top 5 favorite tribute bands, cover bands, or cover songs. Or cover bands that do a cover song. Any of that stuff. Anything covered. Anything tributed. Bears got a seat in the front row. Now remember, Back in Black isn't a cover band. They are a tribute band. And there is a difference. Tribute bands get into it, man. The costumes and the proper moves and the dancing. And I got to tell you, I will kiss Mike's butt as soon as he gets on here. But, man, these guys know how to do it right. So let's go on with our list. I'm going to start at number 5 with Philly's own Mike LeCompte. LeCompte does a great series of cover songs, and he's an outstanding artist.
It's a good
Legendary.
one.
Thank
Why
you.
did I think of LeCompte?
Is he not legendary? He's great.
Yes,
I'll,
they are.
I'll,
Absolutely.
I'll tell him you came up with the idea and I stole it from you. Number
Okay.
4, a great band who plays the area, Get the Lead Out. Led Zeppelin tribute band. They're pretty awesome.
Great one, too.
Number 3, one of the loves of my life, excuse me, honey, the amazing Nikki Stringfield and the Iron Maidens. I love Nikki. She's a former guest on our program.
They're incredible.
They're awesome. I love her to death. Number 2, Jewel, if you live in our area, around Thanksgiving every year, you go to the Keswick, you get your tickets early, and check out Pink Floyd cover band The Machine.
Oh, that's a good one, too. Okay.
Wow, they're good. Really good. They look nothing like Pink Floyd. That's got nothing to do with it. And number 1, yeah, I know, rip me for being a homer here, but number 1 is truly Back in Black. I am not even kidding you. They are that great. And I know he's on the show, and I didn't expect to be backstage early to watch me actually say that. But
Sure. You planned all of this.
Yeah, exactly. Mike, show up early so you can hear me kiss your butt that much. But when I tell you, not to mention Nashville, and we know how great Nashville is. And a rooftop bar, and my wife's birthday, and it was Labor Day weekend. I'm like, there was nothing on earth that could possibly go wrong right now.
Something always magical happens in Nashville. When I went, the first bar I went to, I saw Chris Pratt jump on stage and sing a Johnny Cash song. Like, Nashville is just the land of hope and dreams. I tell you what, that's a Bruce song too. But,
yeah, that's why I didn't say much. I just nodded.
Okay, I did 3 cover songs and then 2 cover bands.
Is any of my Bruce Springsteen cover band?
Yeah, there is, and
of course
I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
Right. Let him rip.
Okay. First one is a Bruce cover, but one of my favorite bands and pretty hard rock. But when I heard this cover, I'm like, oh, I love it. It's so soft and. But I'm on Fire by AWOL Nation, Bruce cover. I love it.
What's it called?
I'm on Fire.
Oh, I'm on Fire is a cover.
I'm on Fire. Yeah, well, it's a Bruce song, but it's done by AWOL Nation.
Oh, I love it. We are right outside of Philly, Pennsylvania, a town called Langhorne, Pennsylvania. And
Jeff is.
Jeff is. Jewel is in parts unknown.
Parts
Never
unknown.
knew who watches these programs.
I know. Number 4 is Lana Del Rey with Season of the Witch. Very witchy. She does a lot of great covers. She did Once Upon a Dream. She did songs for Evita and wrote a lot of amazing original music. But her cover of Season of the Witch is always on my playlist, and it's creepy. So are you twinning with me tonight?
It's creepy.
She's twinning with me tonight.
Adorable. That is twinning. That is some hardcore twinning.
Number 3, one of my favorite covers, and I just heard it this weekend. I'm like, every time I hear it, I want to cry, but it's Chris Cornell with Thank You.
Oh, that's a great one.
Led Zeppelin cover. And then my top 2 cover bands, I wanted to see this band because Portishead never tours anymore. They are an English band, but Portis Who is their cover band. And man, does that chick wail, because Beth Gibbons has like a soft, haunting voice, but this chick, Portis Who, she really wails. So I enjoy her voice very much.
Wait a minute. Portishead has a cover band or tribute band?
Yes.
Mike's going to pop me. Oh, I did not know that.
They're called Portis Who.
We know the story of trying to get her on. Anyway,
Yes.
the number 1 song.
Number one cover band. I had the pleasure of seeing these guys a bunch of times. They come to the Ambler Music Fest a lot, and I've seen them perform before a Bruce Springsteen concert at Citizens Bank Park. I actually met Springsteen's original drummer. This is going to fall on. Touch that. Original drummer, Vinny Mad Dog Lopez, and he performed with them that night, which was a great surprise. I got a picture with him. It was amazing. But the B Street Band, that is the number 1.
The B Street Band?
Yeah, not the E Street Band.
Right. That's pretty. All right, it's creative. I do like it.
Yes.
Great list. Let's hit them again real quick before we get started. I want to say hello to the Love Live Rocking podcast. Brand new to us tonight. He saw the ad on Mike's page about the program. We had a nice little chat before the show, so I want to say hello to Wilmer Elvis and his great program. He does a lot of tribute bands covers on his program. So thanks, dude, for tuning in, and thank you for the shout out. We shout out you as well. We absolutely love it. The Colony, Texas, here north of Dallas. All right, we got a lot of Southerners tonight. That's why I didn't wear my Eagles hat. I didn't need no. I need no riff. I need no riff for the audience. All right, well, one more time. Top 5 list. Mine at number 5, LeCompte. Number 4, Get the Let Out. Number 3, Nikki Shrinkfield and the Iron Maidens. Number 2, The Machine, Pink Floyd cover band. Number 1, of course, a little band you may have heard of, My Stupid Tribute band itself, Back in Black. For some reason, I can't get out the phrase tribute band tonight.
Tribute band.
Tribute band.
Had got to perform out too.
They actually performed with Jimmy Van Zandt on a Skinner tribute band. That's amazing. That's awesome right there. Jewel came out with I'm on Fire, Bruce Springsteen cover. Lana Del Rey's Season of the Witch. Chris Cornell's Thank You, Led Zeppelin cover. Portishead, the tribute band for Portishead. And the tribute band B Street Band, Bruce Springsteen's tribute band. Awesome stuff, Jewel. Absolutely amazing. Real quickly, before we bring Mike into the program, I'm kind of hoping the dog stop before Mike comes in. But I want to run real quick for you folks the trailer for their amazing movie, My Stupid Tribute Band, because it's awesome. And I got to run the trailer right to the part before AC/DC's music comes on, because as you know, we own the rights to no music. So we certainly can't have AC/DC playing, right, Joel?
Right.
Ask that lovely
violinist.
Yeah. So it's about a minute 49 trailer. I think we got most of it. Won't have the whole thing. And once Mike starts talking, then they get ready to play the music, AC/DC music. We got to cut it. So let's hit it real quick. God, I'm so tongue tied tonight. A trailer.
Tribute.
Trailer for the movie, My Stupid Tribute Band. Man, by the end of the night, Mike's going to be like, dude, I hate this guy. He's the worst. Anyway, let's hit the trailer real quick. Check it out. It's awesome. I'm excited just watching the trailer.
You're the one that told Darren about the audition for AC/DC.
Yeah, I read about Brian Johnson having to quit because of his hearing problem. So I immediately shared the news with Darren, and you know what his response was?
Well, then go get me an audition.
He started singing, and I was thinking, this could get good.
He was full of shit, I thought.
You gotta see this band Back in Black. Brenda Johnson is here, Brian's wife.
Back in Black. Oh, they suck.
Did he just say we suck?
Everyone here is loving Back in Black. They are totally killing it on stage.
How can I be in a band with this guy again? How can I ever trust him?
Oh, really? How about you? Show's over.
Holy crap.
How can you go? He's a crazy. He's drunk all the time.
And if I don't stop drinking, I'm gonna die.
In just a couple of days, Darren is going to be auditioning for AC/DC. How did that happen?
I want to play the rest of it. I know AC/DC music comes in, and our sponsorships and ownerships.
Go watch it on Amazon Prime.
Right. If you want to see the rest, go watch on Amazon Prime. It is worth
after the show
every
tonight.
single second. Oh, after the show, you watch us first, then watch Mike come on. After he's on, you see how great he is, and come back to just us. Then you can probably go watch Back Black. No, seriously, a fantastic movie. And when I found out it was coming on, I told my wife, I'm like, hey, remember that amazing band that we saw, that AC/DC tribute band? They got a movie. And I had to see it because, man, so good. I'm the founder of Ride for Dime in memory of Dimebag Darrell. Wow, that's awesome, dude. That is awesome stuff. And find us on Facebook, etc., the Stoop Radio Network. JD Wolf, thank you for showing up. And add us, dude. We'd like to talk about some stuff. Mike, throw me a pick, right? Mike has got Angus Young down to a science. In fact, Mike is so popular, Angus himself is roaming around tonight, right off the wall. So Angus Young. hanging out. But yeah, I'm telling you, Jewel, it's so worth it. And like I said, especially like everything hit Nashville, my wife's birthday, rooftop bar. This band, you couldn't beat it, and amazing. We're going to bring Mike out in just a moment. What we want to do real quick is just thank last week's guest, Lisa Orlando. Thank you, Lisa, for coming on the program. She's got brand new music coming out. Make sure you check out the lovely Lisa Orlando. Tomorrow night, on Wednesday night's version of the O Show, an amazing local artist who was also on American Idol, Bree Teller, will be on the program. She is sensational. I adore Bree, a local girl from here in Bucks County. The premiere of the movie was in Dallas. Oh, I can imagine. And Dallas loves this band. The world loves this band. And it's time to find out why. I know we're a little early tonight. We usually start the interviews at 8:30, but I'm just so excited I can't stand it. I have 1,000 questions to ask, so it might be like midnight. Mike will be like, "Can I go to bed?" Like, hang on, one more question.
I gotta go.
Anyway, our guest tonight is the creative mind behind the AC/DC tribute band Back in Black. Also, you've seen him recently in the movie My Stupid Tribute Band, where all the dirt is dished. Let's welcome one super cool human being to the program, Mr. Michael Mraz, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Thank
Mike,
you, guys.
Thank you
so
very
much. Thanks for the kind welcome and having me. And Jeff, I got to stop you. You quit that trailer on me. That's not AC/DC music. That's our original band, Stripwired.
So I could have let
So
him
play
know.
it all the time if you want. It's a great thing about this movie, and the whole record industry, the music industry is all screwed up now. It's nothing like it used to be, and part of the reason for me doing this movie, I thought this might be a cool way to showcase our original music. We recorded that record in 2019. And, we've been in the AC/DC School of Music for the last 20 years doing this tribute, right?
Sure.
And it's our favorite kind of music. It's our style. So we wrote a record heavily influenced by the great band AC/DC. So crank it up. It's all original music. I tried to get the sync rights for the movie. I wanted to show clips of us performing AC/DC music. I didn't want the original music because that costs an arm and a leg. So the term is called sync rights. So that's if you're doing a cover of their song, you have to get the sync rights, right?
Wow.
So with my connections with AC/DC, I reached out to, they're hooked up with Sony Publishing now in Australia, and they just will not release any sync rights at all, no matter who you are, what you do.
Wow.
Sorry. And I tried to get some deep cuts, like Touch Too Much and, Let There Be Rock, and they wouldn't do it. I said, give me a number. Give me a number, and let's work something out. Wouldn't even give me a number.
Wow. That has to be so difficult. I'd imagine, especially AC/DC. It's like, but you guys are personal friends, so it's like, what?
Right?
I thought that would help. That got my foot in the door, but you know what? They let the lawyers and their attorneys be the bad guy, and it's a business for them, and I respect it. We had the tunes in the movie, and then after that, I had to take them out respectfully, and I thought, I don't know if this movie's going to still work, but it does, and we've heard a little negative feedback about people saying, gosh, we really wanted to hear you play in the documentary. But we've also found out that it makes them want to Google us and come see us live because we kind of tease them.
There you go.
Very true.
That's the strategy, Mike. I love it. And Angus himself, I don't know if he knows, Angus himself is here tonight. He's got the red jacket on tonight. He's here watching.
Just gave me one of those.
I love it. I got a bunch of them, as you see, and I definitely have to pull Angus off the shelf. So, again, for the people out there, a lot of them know, because a lot of them said, can't wait to check it out. The band is Back in Black. It's a tribute to AC/DC. Tell us about, I kind of know about it from watching the movie, as everybody should watch the movie anyway, but tell us a little bit about how you got it started and what made you go to AC/DC route and how to launch.
Absolutely. I've been in bands all my life, original bands, and I tried. And like I said earlier, the music business just stinks. It's hard. And I lived out in LA for a while, and I I worked for Sony, and I was in the video game industry. And
Oh,
that's where I
wow.
got my vintage PlayStation hat here.
Yes. Love it.
And I was on the Sony Music softball team, and that comprised of all the guys in A&R, Columbia Records and Sony, right? And I got tight with all those guys, and it just made me realize how many talented, great bands and musicians all over the world that never make it. I mean, these guys
Sure.
had stacks of CDs and cassettes in their office. And even when bands got signed, it wasn't a guarantee that they're going to make it. And it made me realize how tough the industry was, right? So I took a little time off, and I missed playing guitar, and I thought, okay, I tried to do it, but I just want to have fun. I love to play. It's part of me. I'm just going to start a silly little band. Darren, our singer in Back in Black, we were in an original band back in LA, and we were playing, all the little clubs out there like Whiskey and Roxy and all that.
Good
And
stuff.
yeah, we would close the night out with our original stuff doing an AC/DC cover song. And all of a sudden I saw the reactions for the people. They weren't just standing there with their arms crossed going, "Oh, your band sucks." All of a sudden they kind of paid attention to us, right?
We'll
So I
get,
always
we'll get to that in a minute about your band sucking.
right. So I always had that in the back of my mind, and I relocated to Texas, and started the family, but I thought I wanted to play, so I tracked down Darren. I said, "I just want to have you. I'm going to fly you out, okay? I'm making good money. I'm going to fly you out. We're going to put a little band together. We're just going to play AC/DC music all night. We don't care if 5 people show up. We're just going to play. It's going to be my bowling night. It's going to be my night out with the guys." And first couple shows weren't too great, but we stuck to it. And then, son of a gun, out of all the bands I've been in, this one just took off on us, and here we are.
That is absolutely amazing. And before we go on with Jewel, because Jewel always asks a question, one of our audience members wants to ask, and of course you know the story. We know the story. Our friend Bear asked if that's a Rick Nielsen guitar. Yes, it is. And of course, tell us about your time with Rick Nielsen and Cheap Trick, because that's another great story. There's so many great stories, dude. I can keep you from days.
I'm here all night. I love talking about it. I'm very passionate about it. That's. I had a Cheap Trick tribute band. That's how I actually got into the tribute scene in LA. I was a huge Cheap Trick fan, and I thought I knew a guy that can do the Robin Zander part, so we did it a couple of times. And our second night out, Tom Peterson, the bass player for Cheap Trick, came to the club, came backstage and said, "I had heard good things about you. Can I come up and play with you guys a couple?" And fortunately, I've always tried to record the band. I've always documented from when I was 15 years old playing drums in, my garage. It's a great tool. And I kept all these recordings and videotapes of our band. And little did I know that it would turn out to be part of my great documentary, But we were recording that night, so I got that in the documentary as well. Big fan of Cheap Trick. I've been able to meet them a bunch of times. They're the greatest guys. And you'll see there's Cheap Tricks in the documentary quite a bit. And they're there because they're a big influence on me, and they're just great people.
Terrific band.
And I watched Surrender when you got the chance to jump on stage with them. It was amazing. How was that feeling, just being on stage with them after so many years of playing their music originally before you're Back in Black?
Well, we had opened a big show for them in Houston, and it was the second or third time we'd opened for them, and we had met them and talked to them, and they knew of us. And after our set, they came backstage to get ready for their set, and they were talking to us. They're so friendly. They remembered us. And Rick shocked us. He's like, "Why don't you guys come up and stand on the side of the stage by my guitars and watch the show?" We're like, "Is that a trick question?"
The trick right now.
So we were up there, and throughout the whole performance, he'd come over and say hi to us, and he'd show us. He's like, "This is the guitar I got from Jeff Beck," and he'd run out and play a song, or he'd come over and he'd throw picks at us, and he'd ask us questions and stuff. I don't know. And then he said, "Why don't you guys come out and Surrender?" And we're like, "Okay." And we didn't know when to come out or if we were serious about it still, And when he was waving to us in the video, again, that we fortunately captured, it was a night I waited for my whole life. You know, we hustled out there, and wow, that's all I can say.
That's amazing. And I would be the same way. I'd be sitting there and getting waved on, like, so not happening.
I mean, can you imagine? You guys are big fans of other bands. Can you imagine one of your all-time favorite bands invite you to come out on stage to join them on one of their biggest hits ever?
Yeah, that's
crazy, right?
I got a hard enough time sitting here talking to a guy whose favorite band told him to come on stage and sing one of their songs. I can only imagine jumping up on there.
You're too kind.
I think you guys are great. We first saw you. My wife and I were in Nashville for her birthday. I think you heard me tell the story where you were backstage. It was this past year, Labor Day weekend. We're looking for something to do on the first night we're there, and I'm like, look at this. AC/DC tribute band, Back in Black, playing at a rooftop bar. She's like, I'm in. We go, and you had an opening band who was great. Matter of fact, their lead singer is coming on our show in a few weeks.
Oh, great.
Timothy Dial. They're an awesome guy, great band as well. And they were great. I'm like, I can't wait to see what this Back in Black is all about. Because for me, like tribute bands, I haven't seen many of them. Because around here, they charge a fortune, $150 $200 a ticket. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. So the ticket was affordable. The location was awesome. The night was like my wife was ready to just party it up. And we get there, and there's soap opera stars in the audience that I recognize. I was talking to these soap opera stars who were there watching you, and you guys come out. And I mean, from the second I saw you, the second I heard you, I'm like, yeah, these guys are sensational. The only thing that took me for a little bit of a loop, Angus is what, 5 foot, and you're what, like 7 foot? How hard is it? How hard is it to get all his dance? How hard is it to get all his dance moves and all his shakes down? Because he does a lot of motion. You're a lot taller guy. How is all that, man? Because the experience is amazing to watch.
Well, I tried to get the surgery to get my height lowered, but you know, and Angus stands 7 feet tall on that stage every time I see him. So
makes sense.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a handicap, but hopefully the audience recognizes that I play with a lot of heart and love for their music, you know, and I think that's what's got me through it. Angus, I can't even put in words what an incredible guitar player he is. When I first started the band, you know, I sat in my office like this, and I'm playing and trying to learn the songs, and I'm sitting down and I'm learning them. But the magic of Angus is when his live performance. I mean, the way he runs around and plays that guitar. I mean, that's hard to do. There's a reason why the guys just stand still and play guitar. Angus, that breakdown in Back in Black where it goes dun 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 dun. He does that, and it's a tricky little lick. And you're like, it's a big stretch in it too. And he's got little hands. I don't know how he does it. But then he's running around the stage doing the duck walk forwards and backwards. And it took me 8 years performing to finally get that down. And that just tells you how incredible he is with his skills of playing and running around. And the other thing I wanted to say about his playing, when we went to the audition, Angus Trace, the guitar tech, handed him his guitar, and I was in the room still. And he put on his guitar and he started noodling around with it and just kind of warming up a little bit. It was a guitar god. I mean, I've heard so many guys play guitar. This is a guitar god that his feel, his touch, his timing, it was just a whole nother level I've never seen in a guitar player. I mean, Angus Young is truly, truly an amazing guitar player.
He seems ageless. It seems like he's been like 80 years old forever.
But
he's got the move. And for me, like I said, tribute band, like my wife's like, are the costumes good? Which they were. Costumes are spot on. I'm like, I'm not even worried about that. I'm waiting for the first note. And from the first note and the first vocal and the first everything, I'm locked in. Perfect right from there. My wife's like, okay, they look like them. I'm like, yeah, it's the sound. I don't really care. For me, the looks are last on the list. You guys nailed the looks too. Again, a 7 foot tall guy in a little British schoolboy outfit's unusual, but you nail it.
I try to crouch down a lot when I play. So I hope
That's interesting to think of, though. The riffs are challenging. Was there another riff or another song that was a big challenge for you?
That's a good question, and I think I have a good answer. We play a lot of their catalog, not all of it. They have so many songs, a great catalog too. But there's one song, one solo that really stands out to me, and it's Riff Raff, the studio version. Angus is such a blues player. I mean, he's just a rock and roll blues guitar player, and learning his solos, I can kind of tell like where he likes to go. All greats have their places they like to go on the guitar, but on the Riff Raff studio version, it's more technical than what he usually does, and it's hard. It's a tricky solo, and I've been working on that a lot. When we perform live Riff Raff, I do the live version that's on If You Want Blood, and now I went back to the studio version. And wow, it's a great solo, and I'm proud to say I can pull it off now. But that was challenge number 2 was Riff Raff solo.
It's amazing, and that's the thing. Not only did you pick a band to tribute, you picked an incredible band loaded with talent. Let's talk a little bit about Darren's audition. We spoke in the beginning when we talked about having you come on. You said, no offense, Darren's a little different breed of a guy. Doesn't really have internet. Probably can't even find his way on the show, so he's out. But the audition part, especially in the movie, is hilarious. He's like, oh, they want me to audition? Well, give me an audition.
Right.
How did that come through? And just talk a little bit about the process, because I know you were involved. I know it was pretty intense.
Right. Well, Darren is a great guy, and we've been together since 1989. We're great friends. We're really opposite people, but, man, we just get along so great, And and he's from, like I say, he's from New York. He's got that New York attitude, So I have a music school. Well, I had a music school before the pandemic, and I was in my office on social media, and Darren was working for me at that time, teaching a guitar lesson down the hall. And I saw about, Brian Johnson losing his voice, and it said AC/DC may be looking for a sub to fill out the remaining 20 dates. I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything like this from the band. So I ran in, to where he was doing the lesson. I told him about it, and in typical New York style, he goes, well, go give me an audition. What are you doing? You're talking to me. Get off the phone, And so I'm like, you go, shit, come on, how am I going to do that? So I went back to my office. I started thinking about, my resources and, the people I knew, and I started making some phone calls. And some of them the next day, their agency called me, and they asked if Darren would be interested in auditioning, and that took a while to get into my brain. I mean,
that's wild.
Because from the very beginning, I took the band seriously, but I always called it my stupid tribute band because I wanted to be humble about it. I will never be AC/DC's level. I'll never be even close to Angus Young. This is just, it's a form of entertainment, and we just want to do the best that we can, But I just never thought that AC/DC would ever know about us, care about us. They got their own little world they live in. Why would they care about a stupid tribute band in Dallas? We'll never, ever, interact with them. And holy cow, now they're calling us to see if Darren wants to come out and sing with them. And there's no way I was going to miss out on this opportunity.
Sure.
So when their manager called back, I politely convinced him, I said, I got to be there. I promise, I'm a cool dude. I'm going to stay out of everybody's hair. I just want to go. It'll be good for Darren for his support. And it worked out really well. And it was a trip of a lifetime.
It's awesome. I mean, obviously, we love the rest. We got to watch the movie. See, we can't give you everything. There's a movie out there about this.
There is a cool part, though, about Brian Johnson's wife coming to see you guys because he almost made it, but his flight got delayed. So she showed up, and she was just giving you guys the greatest compliment, saying you sound like them, you move like them. What was that experience like? Just getting the...
Yeah, that was crazy. That was early on in our career. I think it was 2006 or something like that. We formed in 2001 or 2002. And that blew us away. I remember getting that phone call from the Van Wezel, and he's like, well, Brian Johnson's on the board of directors. And he asked me to call you because he heard good things about you. And I'm like, wow, So we flew out. We were so excited, but as soon as we landed, they're like, oh, got bad news. Brian's still stuck in the UK. His plane got delayed, and sorry guys, but we have a great audience for you here. And so we did the show, and I guess Brenda came out because she knew, Brian wanted to be there, and it was so great to see her. She was so friendly and so nice, and she was telling us stories, and we were all just kind of sitting around her like, oh, tell us another story. And then she told us that, Brian was looking forward to getting on stage and joining us for a couple of songs.
Oh, man.
It's like, it's great to hear that, but then on the other hand, it's like, oh, I wish I didn't hear that,
Right, yeah.
Close. But she's a really lovely woman. And funny thing about going to the Sarasota area, everybody knows Brian Johnson in Sarasota. We went to the gas stations, to the hotel, the quickie marts, and they all have Brian Johnson stories. I guess he's
awesome.
real friendly, and people just love him in the community out there.
That's an awesome thing. And you mentioned staying humble, and staying humble brings you that kind of reward. Like, they want to come meet you. They want to see you. Like, if you're some jaded, cocky guy, like, yeah, we nailed their stuff, they'll be like, okay, pass. So it's smart. Right. It's a good word of advice. And like I said earlier, the crowd comes hard. From Jewel, the rooftop bar in Nashville, you had rocker people, you had soap opera stars, you had people dressed elegantly to be at a rooftop bar still watching AC/DC. Mike, what's it like reaching out to so many people? Because AC/DC is classic and kind of timeless. So you get people from a lot of different age groups and generations and styles, etc., to come see it. How cool is that to have such a broad audience?
That's a great thing about this band. They have such a far reach and a huge demographic, and it's being passed on to more generations, because the kids are sitting in the back seat when mom and dad are listening to, the Back in Black record. And it works. We play country bars, huge country bars that never have any rock acts or pop acts hire us, and we kill. They cross over to country, and yeah, there's older, it's definitely more, middle-aged men, that's the demographic. I didn't join this band to meet hot women. I'll tell you that. I at the end of the show, it's not hot girls looking to meet us. It's the guys that want to tell us their AC/DC stories,
That's why I backed away from the stage. I don't want to be just another dude.
Yeah. We love talking AC/DC. It's fun. We run into people that have met them, and we met their pilot for their plane. We met girls that have slept with the band, and and it's just, we played, Boston to California to Cold Lake, Canada, way up in the middle of Canada, down to Puerto Rico, and down in the jungles in Mexico. And they all come out in their AC/DC gear, and they love that band. And that's just a small part of the world. I mean, they're just a worldwide phenomenal band. They're huge, 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 huge.
It's insane. And I guess the Bone Bash, that was like your first big crowd, thousands and thousands of people. Do you remember what that experience was like, going from like a smaller crowd to that big of a festival?
Yeah, it was tough. That very first Bone Bash, when we played that for 20,000 people, I can't even describe it, because most of my career up until that point, 99.9% of my career up until that point, I played to 5 to 10 people, and that's just reality of being in a band. And to play to that many people, holy smokes, it's such a rush, and you want it. It's like it's a drug, it's such a high. But then you get off stage, and then you got to go home and empty the dishwasher. or cut
Sounds like my life. Yeah, right.
But you take your moments when you can.
Not going to sleep.
That's
Right.
great. I say that sometimes. I'm here, I do the show, I have these awesome guests, and we talk about music and rock. And then after the show, my wife's like, "Did you take the clothes out of the dryer?" I'm doing it, honey. And you're doing laundry.
Brings you back down to earth for sure.
It sure does. One of the phrases I use sometimes, a lot of people say it, is there's no such thing as bad press. Any press is good press. And as you've seen, some of the people saw the documentary preview. A DJ out your way said, more or less on a mic, came right out and said, Back in Black, or they suck. And it drew ire, it drew madness, but it kind of boosted you guys. Tell us about that, because that's my favorite part of the movie. I actually rewinded it and stopped and did it all again because it's such a great story.
It's so crazy, and that hit us so hard too, because here I am, all my life in the band, we put something together, and I know we've got something special. People are coming out to see us now, and it's not my girlfriend or my wife, and my best friend from high school, or whatever. And
your girlfriend and your wife? No, that's rock star shit.
Yeah, yeah, right. And more wife. But we're playing, and we've got all this momentum, and we get nominated for a music award here in Dallas, which was a prestigious award from this Music and Arts magazine, and we're like, holy cow, this just happened. And I dreamed about this. Our names in the paper, they're talking about the award ceremony, and we're thinking we might have a nice chance to win this. There's going to be promoters and other bars that want to book us, and this is going to be so great for the band. And we get there, and they're giving us free drinks, and we're having just a great time. We're all excited. We're on cloud nine, and they had like local celebrities kind of hosting, and these two guys came up to do the category, and they were two big radio announcers here in Dallas. They have a sports show, and they're known for being abrasive and having attitude, and that's why the show's successful. And they got up there, and we're all excited. All right, here's a category. Shh, come on, just pay attention. All right, they can see our name. So he gets up there, he goes, all right, best cover or tribute act. First nominee is Back in Black. And he goes, oh, they suck. We're like, what? Who's this guy? Do you guys know him? Has he seen us? Who knows this guy? Why did he say that? And we're just dumbfounded. And before we knew it, Darren just takes off running as hard as he can through this big crowd, trying to get to the front of the stage. And he is yelling and swearing at this guy. And we're chasing after him because we don't know what's going to happen. And he's trying to go through the other nominees. And Darren is standing at the front of the stage going, hey, have you seen our band? Have you seen our band? Why did you have to say that? Why do we suck? Why did you say that? There are other people here. Why did you say we suck? And the guy saw Darren, and he became a little rattled,
I would. Darren looks a little unhinged.
Don't say we suck.
He had his crazy New York eyes out, and we couldn't believe it, and it wasn't funny at all to us. Nobody laughed at that comment, God, how can this guy do this? And then he gets off the stage. And then the next day, I knew that this guy's probably going to get on his radio show and just blast us. And I thought, oh, this is only the beginning. Wow. And he did. And he went on the show, and he was making fun of Darren and telling people about how he reacted at his comment. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting my phone's blowing up and my email's blowing up, and all these people are saying, hey, I didn't know you had an AC/DC tribute band. They're talking about you on the radio. And then the next show we did, because of all those comments, they had a huge following. The place was packed.
Awesome.
So it turned out to be a great turnaround for us. And I got to tell you, the DJ, I had seen him only once since that had gone down at a show. And we just kind of said hi, but never really spoke about it. But then when I was doing the documentary, I tracked him down and asked him if he would talk about it. And he did. And he was so humble, and he apologized to me for it. And I went into there. I wasn't looking for an apology. It didn't hurt me that bad. Everything worked out fine. So, whatever. But he gave me this nice apology, and that was kind of nice. I didn't know I wanted it, but after I received it, that was a really nice gesture from him, and it was a nice feeling.
And total opposite effect, like going on his own station and promoting you guys essentially, and we got this crazy AC/DC band, and I mean that's great. It worked in your favor.
Now he's back on the air, And he came out to our Dallas premiere, and he loved the movie. And he came out and he was talking about how much he loved the movie the next day on the show. So crazy, just worked out.
How are all the guys doing? How's Darren doing? And how's the band holding up? And I know you've had some changes, just life happens. How is everyone faring?
Everything's good. Darren's better than ever. He's doing great. We had to make a couple personnel changes since the documentary was released. Our bass player just decided to retire from music. He wanted to quit his job, wanted to quit the band, and he's just something he wanted to do for his family. And then Ken, our drummer, he suffered a major heart attack.
Oh, Jesus.
I think it was a year ago yesterday.
Wow.
It was horrible. He was out. It was during a song, during the performance, and his heart stopped on stage and he collapsed behind his drum set. Wow. He was out for almost 40 minutes. And Darren and I started CPR on him. And fortunately, we were playing a private event, and there were Southwest airline employees out in the audience. And the airline personnel are trained in CPR. So they came running on stage and they grabbed a defibrillator, and they took over for me and Darren because, we're trying to do our best. I remember, thank God for The Office in that episode. You guys fans of The Office?
Oh, yeah, I love The Office. Sure.
Have you seen the one where they do that CPR episode? She's like, staying alive, That's what I was doing. I'm doing Staying Alive on my drummer. And then the paramedics came, and holy cow, after 40 minutes, they got his heart beating again. And he didn't have any brain damage. He had a huge surgery that saved his life. But unfortunately, he has to wear
pacemaker?
A pacemaker or a defibrillator.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
And was restricted to lifting, only 5 pounds. And, being a drummer, how are you going to do that? And, our schedule is very demanding. We're doing 100 shows a year. And we just couldn't see, we loved Ken. But we just couldn't see him continuing this band. He's got a beautiful son and daughter. His daughter's getting married. And there's some things better and more important on this earth than being in a tribute band, because if that would have happened again when he was driving, or we were in a bar that didn't have a defibrillator, it could have been really bad. So
yeah,
we wish him the best. We were able to replace him with a great guy named Paul Brown that we love. But it was tough. It was really tough. And
I can imagine.
Part 2 of the documentary is already starting to write itself,
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm up for a part 2. I actually had a triple bypass myself. I had an episode at work, but I was strong enough to get into the office, have them call the ambulance, and they got me there. And knock on wood, I'm never better, but
good.
Just last year too.
Thank you.
Just last year.
Yeah, but so I totally understand that. Little piece of advice. I hate to ask this piece of advice, but you go out and you do something miraculous. You make this movie, documentary, My Stupid Tribute Band. Nobody thinks of it. It's genius. How does it go about? Because I absolutely want to do My Stupid Podcast because I think it's something that nobody's ever done. And I'm like, you know what? This whole My Stupid Blank thing draws people because the name's great. How'd you come up with it? How did you get into doing it? And God, you said you documented your life since you were 5, so obviously you have the footage. But how did it come about? Because to me, and Jewel said it as well, it is a genius idea.
Thank you. Yeah, another good idea had hit me. I wanted to do something special for our 20-year anniversary. A lot of bands don't last that long. And I knew it was special to be around for 20 years, And I thought about doing the documentary. I knew I had all that footage. And I also knew it was going to be a ton of work. It's a lot of work putting together a documentary. And
there goes that, Jewel. We're out.
Yeah. And I thought, you know what? I'll just try 5 minutes. I'll just try to put together 5 minutes. I'll try to put together an intro. And if I like it, I'll take it from there. If I don't like it, screw it. I'll do something else. So I started messing around with it, and I liked what I did. And I thought, I think I can write this. It was pretty good. And I just started piecing it together a little by little. And I mean, it was every day for 2 years of my life, hours every day doing it. I mean, I had to learn how to do all the movie software, I had to reconfigure and rebuild my whole computer here, so I wouldn't have all these stupid lag times and all this stuff. But I'm so proud of it. It turned out really good. I'm amazed. I didn't show it to anybody after I completed it for a long time. I was really afraid that people wouldn't like it, and I wasted all this time. But then I showed it to a couple friends, and I was getting some good feedback. And then when I used to work for Sony, I also worked for MGM Motion Pictures back in LA.
Wow.
And I had some contacts in the movie industry still. So I sent it out to the guys, and I said, if you can't, just watch it a little bit and just let me know if I should quit this or, keep playing my guitar. And they all said, you got something here, and it's a really good idea. And this could be a great way to, market your band, like we talked at the beginning, market the original music. I have these characters in this band. I've got a great story. I've got the hook of the audition, and it just worked out great. I'm so proud of it.
Toss him a pick from the camera. Yeah, a little different getting a pick from the camera than the guitar.
Yeah.
And for all you who may have not seen it yet or may not know this headline, it made it to #1 on Amazon Prime. #1. That's how damn good it is. So kudos again, Mike. You were going to be humble? I'll brag for you. #1.
That's pretty cool. That's great credibility,
Absolutely.
And it's so well made and such a good rock and roll story. Like literally it has everything: sex, drugs, rock and roll. Like you guys truly had this rock and roll journey that anyone will want to be a part of. Are you surprised by the success of the documentary?
I kind of am. I kind of am. I've never made a movie before, and what's funny is after the movie was completed, it's almost the same type of procedure to get a record deal back in the day. You have to shop it around, you got to find a distributor, you have to find like a record label to get behind you. And it was kind of that procedure, but then because we're in this different time, you could do it on your own now. I had some offers from some small independent distributors, and they didn't feel right. And then I got into the film festival circuit. That's another thing you have to do if you make a movie. You have to get it in film festivals, and that way that can expose you to distributors and also get feedback and see if you have anything good. And when I did the film festival circuit, it kicked ass. We got like 23 awards and selections from all over the world. And that was another sign that I had something. And then through my partners, in California and Hollywood, I was able to secure the Amazon Prime deal, and here we are. And I thank you so much for supporting us and the kind words about the movie. It's just, I'm very excited about it. Like I said, I'll talk to you all night about it. It's a blast.
Thank you for making it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because my wife and I are on two different pages when it comes to TV, movies, anything. One night she says, I want to watch a movie. I'm like, I got just a movie. And then flashback, these are the guys we saw in Nashville. She was glued to it. I was glued to it. Everybody, I'm telling you, everybody says, can't wait to see it. See it. It's phenomenal. It's so good. Like Joel said, it is a sex, drug, and roll rock star story, man.
Oh, yeah. And I wanted to ask you a question because I just watched that. I don't know if you saw, it's a new running show on Amazon Prime, Daisy Jones and the Six, but it's about a 70s band. And well, anyway, they go to, and they get this spot. It's like, they get this gig night after night, and the place is called Filthy McNasty's. And when I was watching your thing, I'm like, wait a minute. I wonder if that was like a tribute back to the station.
Oh, that's a good question. And I saw that movie, and it's on my list of things to see. Yeah, I don't know, because I think Filthy McNasty had a club. If I'm not 100% sure. I think he had a place called Filthy McNasty's before he opened FM Station. So I'll have to check that out. That might be what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was really cool. That I watched them both at the same time, essentially.
Pretty cool drive. I keep seeing people jumping in saying they bought tickets. I'm telling you, you guys play so many shows too, and the locations are great. And I know it's a lot down south. I gotta ask you, when are you coming up northeast? We need some Pennsylvania, some New York, a little something like that,
Tri-state area.
right? We need a little bit of that.
We played Philadelphia at a Live Nation venue. I can't remember the name of it. We had a great time out there. We play all over the United States. Texas is so big, and we just got all these great venues here, you know, so we hit a lot of Texas. The thing is with the East Coast, there's a lot of AC/DC tribute bands out there, you know.
Really?
And there's
But they're
another
good ones.
unfortunately, right. There's not in the whole tribute band category. I mean, I read in the Wall Street Journal there's like over 16,000 Beatle tributes alone in the world.
Jesus.
Wow.
Like 2018. I don't know how many AC/DC tributes there are, but man, the East Coast has its share. But what happens is there are some great bands out on the East Coast, but you know, the cheaper bands and the not so good bands, they don't charge as much, you know. So a club out on the East Coast will say, you know, I got this band, Riff Raff or whatever, coming in, you know, they'll play for this cost. I don't have to fly them in. I don't have to get them backline. I don't have to put them up at the hotel, and they do just fine. Why do I need to bring you guys in? You know?
Cross more stuff off the list.
We have the #1 documentary on
I know, #1 documentary.
20
Because
years. 25 years.
We have like a smaller casino up our way in the Bucks County area, and I talked to the organizer for a lot of the shows, and he says, "Give me some great bands, I'll line them up." I would give anything to have you guys come play there and go see. But like I said, it's cost, it's money, it's flying in, it's a lot of work. Parks Casino, if you're out there listening.
I wanted to know though, what do you think is the most crowd pleasing song? There's so many hits. Everyone knows there's so many hits, but like, what do you think is the most gets the crowd most amped? And what is your favorite song to play from?
Oh, that's a good question. I like that. Well, the hits, you know, being a professional band, we've learned early that there are 7 or 8 AC/DC songs you have to include every night, you know, and that's just what the fans want to hear. But, you know, then there's a great catalog of the deep cuts that we get to rotate in and out, right? So, man, Back in Black, Shook Me. I think the biggest reaction of the night is usually Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite song too. I'm so glad you said that. I was going nuts for that. My wife's like, "Relax." I'm like, "No, you understand. There is no relax."
Right. That, and you know, it's been in so many movies, and the demographic on that song is huge. You know, young kids know that song, and it's such, you know, people work out to that song. It's just they just nailed it. And man, that's my opinion. That's the big one. And my personal favorites, I love playing. I love Touch Too Much. That's a deep cut. I love Damnation. We've been playing Flick of the Switch, and that is a really fun song. Stiff Upper Lip is a great riff. He's like finger picking it a little bit, and that's kind of cool. Angus is just amazing. That's such a great catalog of songs. That's a lot. Yeah.
That's all. It's funny because a lot of, and no disrespect, I don't know much about the tribute band scene except for seeing them. But a lot of people come out and go, "I love playing Highway to Hell. I love playing Back in Black. But you're picking the deep cuts, like you said. I mean, Thunderstruck is my jam. It's like my #1 song on earth. I love that song. Yeah, a lot of them are like the essentials. My wife said, "Am I going to know them songs?" I'm like, "Yeah, you'll know pretty much all of them." And then a deep cut comes in. I see her side-eyeing me to see what I know, and I'm getting into it. So, but it's nice. It's a great mix, and it's not cookie cut. That's another thing that's fantastic about the show.
Right. And the great thing about AC/DC, even the songs you don't know, you're tapping your foot to them, and you like it after you hear it. You know, they're just what great songwriters, so talented.
Let me ask you real quick. This is totally off topic. It wasn't even a question I set up here, but I got to know. Shook Me All Night Long became like a dance tune, and people my age dance to it. How exactly did that become a dance song?
I think it's the women folk out there that like this song.
Yeah, they love it. Like they do the screech and they all start dancing. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, there's some songs in the AC/DC catalog where it's a guy thing, like Let There Be Rock or Sin City.
The Jack.
Yeah,
the Jack reminds. You hear the Jack a lot in strip clubs.
Right.
Not that I've ever been there, but yeah.
Right. I hear too. Yeah. But yeah, Shook Me. The girls just love that song. I mean, that's up there with Don't Stop Believing. And
I was just gonna say that it's the same level as Don't Stop Believing. It's like
Brown
you
Eyed
are guaranteed
Girl.
to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge hit, and it's got a great groove. It's got AC/DC has a great swing. Phil Rudd has a great swing to his playing. It's not a straightforward rock beat. He's swinging that stuff, and a good swing beat makes you want to get up and dance.
And the intro just gets you. It's like, let's go. That's like all their intros, though.
All right, so I'll hit the audience question first, and I'll come back to one of mine. So Rick C wants to know, when was the first time you saw AC/DC?
I was kind of a late bloomer, and forgive me. I didn't see them until 1996 in Dallas here at the Reunion Arena. I had tried when I was in college and on the For Those About to Rock tour, but it didn't work out. And I saw them. I was in the video game industry. I took out the GameStop buyer to that show.
Oh, wow.
At dinner, and then we went and saw the AC/DC show, and I was able to expense the seats, right? So we got like 6th row right on the aisle, and I just couldn't believe what I saw. I'd seen them in person compared to all the videos and stuff that we had studied, and they're so powerful and they're so loud. But man, that was a big impression. That was 96. That was about 4 or 5 years before I started the band, and that made a big mark in me.
That's a great question too. Thanks, Rick. One of those I didn't think to ask because you just assume it's in his blood. Strange question. If it wasn't AC/DC, is there another band you could ever imagine emulating, tributing, playing their music, or is this pretty much for you like the essential?
Well, AC/DC works because I can't sing. If I sang in this band, we would suck. Of course, I could play guitar a little bit. So when I was thinking about doing a tribute act, I did the Cheap Trick band, and I loved Cheap Trick, and it was fun, and it was a blast. But I wanted to step it up, and I knew I had Darren as my secret weapon, and I always like the bands that the guitar players are animated. I like the bands where the guitar player just stands in one spot. I like Angus Young. I like Rick Nielsen jumping around, Ace Frehley and Kiss. And
that's my man.
Even like Joe Perry and Aerosmith. Who's cooler than Joe Perry? Nobody. So I was thinking maybe even a possible Aerosmith tribute and play the Joe Perry part. So many great bands out there, but thank God for AC/DC.
That's awesome. Another audience member wanted me to ask you about your Hollywood performance. It's the second time he said it, so this has to be good.
Yeah, it was a film festival that we had entered, and it was a big one. It was called Dances with Films, and they're based in Hollywood. And we got selected for this festival, and the people in this festival loved the movie and they loved the band, and they're like, would you want to bring the band out and help market the screening? And I'm like, yeah. And so they did the screening at the Chinese Theater.
Oh, wow.
Right on Hollywood Boulevard there, right? A real prestigious theater, right? And we performed right next to that theater is the Dolby Theater where they have the Oscars. And so we set up right in front of the Dolby Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. And we played to all the people walking by, and Jimmy Kimmel's show was across the street, but he wasn't taping that day because he had COVID, darn it. And they were trying to get us on his show too. And if you didn't get COVID, I just wondered what would happen. But yeah, we played right on Hollywood Boulevard right before the screening, and it was a blast.
Awesome. Mike, I gotta say, if it wasn't for bad luck, you'd have no luck at all.
Yeah, right.
Every story's got the worst twist, man.
So close every time.
But I mean, there's nothing like seeing your favorite band live, and you bring that for so many people, maybe who couldn't see them, and you just bring that experience. So you're doing the job, and you're doing it well.
That's what our goal was. You know, when Darren and I started putting this band together, we wanted to do AC/DC right. You know, there's so many tribute bands out there. And forgive me for saying this, but we call them the Uncle Bob and his drinking buddies. You know, it's just a guy. They kind of grab their friends together and they form a tribute band. They don't really try. You know, they don't try to do the look. They don't learn the songs the right way. They don't have the instruments. They don't go for the tone. You know, there's a whole different levels of tribute bands. You know, and when done correctly at this upper tier, it'll blow you away. You know, like Queen for the Day. Those guys are great. There's Elton John, Kenny. And those guys, he does an amazing Elton John. There's a Metallica band and Damage Incorporated and our friends in the Van Halen tribute. I mean, it's an amazing experience, you know. And, you know, tribute bands also, we get our share of haters, you know, and it's a form of entertainment, you know, and what are you going to do? I mean, if you do anything in the public eye, you're going to get haters, you know, you can't please everybody. So it doesn't bother us.
Oh,
yeah. We're just trying to deliver the next best possible thing to AC/DC. You know, if you come out to see a Back in Black show, we're going to give you a 300 million%, and you'll walk away going, wow, that was pretty close.
Certainly did. I walked all the way back to my hotel in Nashville, which is a decent walk from where we were, and that's a scene of itself. People run the streets, but the whole time we talked about that show, the entire walk home. I'm familiar with Killer Queen. You said Damage Incorporated. They also do a great job. Some people really get into it and do it well, like you guys do. I heard a rumor. I don't want to bring this up. I know you've had a lot to say about the record industry, and a lot of bands that come on here say it too. It's changing. It's getting harder. And I heard a rumor today, at least I don't know if it's Pennsylvania or all over the world, where cover bands that are covering music are going to start paying fines.
Oh, please don't say that.
I know. I mean, well, you had mentioned the sync rights and all that stuff, so I assume there's a level of ownership. But I'm imagining like a band, like I said, like Uncle Bob and his drinking buddies, take to the stage, do no homework, just start ripping in the tunes. Like, is that even possible?
Jeff, I don't think so. I'll give you my insight, at least. There's so many cover bands and tribute bands. Like I said, there's 15 or 16,000 Beatle tribute bands, you know.
And the Beatles suck. No.
Yeah, right.
Not a fan.
That'll be so hard to manage. The venues, I know, they pay a price, you know, for these bands performing the cover songs, you know, so they're getting compensated by it. In our case, our personal case with AC/DC, they know that we're out there marketing their band, and we're a great representation of it. What we're doing is just marketing AC/DC and promoting their greatness, you know, and of course we're benefiting from it, but they are too, and they see that and they get it, you know. A thing that I don't like are when tribute bands use like stuff from the original band when they try to market the shows, like images, like if they show like images of you know, the real band or some album art and stuff like that. They frown on that because they own that. You know, we can't make a T-shirt, you know, with a picture of Angus Young on it and say we're Back in Black, you know, and some tribute artists are doing that, and that kind of gives it a bad name. So you just gotta be respectful, you know, do it the right way, and I think we're okay. Fingers crossed. I hope that
sounds good. So basically, you're saying is the people at Funko need to make a Mike Mraz Funko Pop. I'm down. I would buy that. I would buy that.
Hey, if anything, if that law really comes to pass, I mean, it'd be like, you know, managing the internet or something. But like, at least, if anything, you guys are safe because the band vouches for you.
It's people that go out and they want to get entertained. When you go out to a club, the reason people go see a tribute band, they go, okay, here's an AC/DC tribute band. I kind of know what I'm in store for.
Right.
Or if you go out to see a cover band, a top 40 band, or dance music band, you know they're going to be playing those great dance hits that you hear. So how can they take that away from the consumer? You know,
Exactly.
Why
I was
play
blown-
any music ever? Like that doesn't make
Right.
sense.
that makes people happy. This is what we need in this world. So I don't know.
I was shocked when I saw it, to tell you the truth. And right here, I've gotten copyright claims on my YouTube channel when I post some tribute bands I record. And I agree, we've gotten it rarely, but we get it once in a very while. We get that slap on the wrist, which is why I cut the promo, not knowing it was one of Mike's hits, and I just threw Mike's music
Even
under
when
the
we
bus.
have original music on our show, we get like copyrighted. Like, no, wait, we have permission, but
That's tricky.
try to
That's
work
tricky.
around it.
That's tricky.
It absolutely, it's got to be. And like you said, let's hope that doesn't happen because it's enjoyable. And like you said, like people kind of know what to expect when they show up. I thought I did. And then I was blown away that much more. That's how good you guys are. The heart and the soul and the sound and the adrenaline and your aggression on stage is phenomenal. You guys are incredible. And
Isn't Darren remarkable though? I mean, because he does Brian Johnson amazingly, which is a really hard voice to do. And then all of a sudden you see Bon Scott on stage. And
yeah,
right? He was born for this job. And when we first started the band, it wasn't like that. You know, it took a while. It took a few years for him to develop it, you know, because you saw the first performance I think I have on the video. And, you know, he doesn't look anything like Brian Johnson or Bon Scott. He's got a shorts on and a flannel shirt. He's got a buzz cut. He's not even doing any of the moves, you know. And it's just amazing how we evolved into this tribute.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
it's wild. It's not stupid to me. I think it's outstanding.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
But I agree. And seeing, like I said, and seeing Darren, the combination of you're playing the star of the show and seeing Darren and his look, you're sold right away. You're like, yeah, these guys are the real deal. And God bless you, man. We need it. We need more of that. We need more bands to follow you. Maybe after the second part of my stupid tribute band, a third movie called How to Properly Do a Tribute Band.
That's interesting. Yeah, I thought about that too, you know. And I'm thinking about interviewing other tribute bands that I like, you know, for the sequel as well. I don't know. I'm kicking it around. It was a really fun experience making a movie. And these days, people are more excited about seeing a movie than they are about hearing a new record. You know,
Wow.
In my world, that's how it worked out. You know, we released this great record, but people just aren't into new music like they were back in the day. It's just, I don't know, but the movie was, people seem to get more excited about a movie these days, and I snuck the record in there, so.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. Two favors I have for you before we let you go and we read off all the stuff. Favorite number one is we would love to have you back sometime.
Absolutely.
Because this was amazing. Maybe when the second part of the documentary drops or just for shits and giggles, because this was absolutely awesome. That's favorite number one. Favorite number two, if Darren ever has like a sick night, don't bring in an Axl Rose tribute guy to take his spot.
You're right. So that's interesting you brought that up. You know, when AC/DC did that, do you remember on social media everybody's reaction when they were hearing about Axl Rose and how negative that was?
Yes.
And, you know, after that audition, you know, they swore us to secrecy. And, you know, and we couldn't tell anybody. We tell, of course, our loved ones, you know, but we kept it in our back pocket. And we knew that they had Axl, you know, and we knew that they were going to go forward with them. And we were seeing all these comments, and we're like, holy cow, you know what's going on here? They must be reading this. But Axl came in. He was real humble. He was a big AC/DC fan. And he wanted to do it, you know, and he did it very respectfully to the band. And I think that's how he got away with it. And people were able to embrace it. It wasn't, AC/DC has to have Brian Johnson. That's just how it is, you know.
Or Darren, you know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Darren, if they were talking about if they would have had Darren, they could have spun it, you know, an underdog. I hear, you know, comes in from nowhere to save the day for, you know, AC/DC. But, you know, like we was talking in the movie, they had 20 huge shows left, big arenas, 60
Yeah.
to 100,000 seat arenas, 10 in Europe and 10 in the US. And Angus told me, he's like, I've never had to cancel a show. If we cancel the show, I always went back and we made it up. He says, I need to do this. And that's why we're here now. It's just, it was a real delicate situation for them. They didn't know what they were going to do. When we went to that audition, I saw that they were all a little razzled by what was going in. They were just holed up in Atlanta. They didn't know what they were going to do. They didn't know how long they were going to be there. They weren't sure, So it was crazy. It was a real delicate situation for them.
Well, I got to say, I mean, and seeing Guns N' Roses recently and seeing interviews on Axl has changed, and I think it's a good thing for AC/DC. He changed and kept his ego in check, went out and did the job he did. I saw the videos. I think he's great. I love Axl. After seeing after seeing your power, I feel a little bad for your band and Darren, but Axl is about as good a name as you could pick.
Right. Yeah. He did a great job. He did a great job. Like Darren said, if I'm going to lose out to somebody, Axl Rose isn't a bad guy to lose out.
Yeah, it's
to,
not bad. It's like comes down to this: like two people to host a show, me or like Howard Stern. Oh, hey, if I lost, hey, it's Howard. What are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah, not going to be that upset. But yeah, so we'll keep in touch through social media. Obviously, follow the band, and hopefully, like I say, you get close enough to us to catch you again. If not, we just got to take another trip out and find you guys because it's definitely worth it. You people out there, if you watch live or recorded, you can find Back in Black, Instagram at The Real Back in Black, Facebook, Back in Black, www.backinblack.info, and you have to watch. I'm not even kidding around here. Have to watch My Stupid Tribute Band out now on Amazon Prime Video. It made it to #1. There's a reason why. It's great. Jewel, I don't know about you. I got adrenaline out my butt. I want to thank Michael Mraz so much for Michael Mraz. Sorry, I'm going to give you your proper due as well. And I want to thank you so much for coming on, dude. This was something I look forward to. The night of the show, just so you know, my wife said, "Get up there. Tell them about your show. Get them on." I'm like, and there's email and stuff. She's like, "No, now, do it." She was as amped as I was. So tonight, she's out visiting her grandmother. She said, "Grandmom's going to watch the show." Her grandmother doesn't like it because of my fresh mouth. But Grandma, hi, Grandma. You're out there watching tonight.
Well, give her a hug for me. That was nice that she did that.
Certainly will. She loves you guys as much as I do.
Hey, I want to keep you guys one more minute.
No, go ahead.
Can I ask you guys why did you like the movie? Why did the movie appeal to you?
Sure, you want to go first? Or you want me to jump?
I can go first. I loved the realness. I thought I expected it to be one way, and then every time I was like, what did he just say? Like it's full of twists and turns and life. I mean, how much stuff goes on in 20 years when you're trying to hold a band together and you essentially were the glue that just tried to keep all the strings. It was a great story and it deserved to be told. And I mean, how many people can say they experienced what you guys have experienced? So yeah, and it's world famous band, obviously, but the stories and just your personal experiences just made it what it was.
That's awesome.
That's pretty awesome. For me, I actually, and again, I'm not trying to homer it up because you're sitting here, but your storytelling skills about it is amazing. Your emotions show, the heart of it, the love of it shows in you telling the story. And Graham, before I watched it, I saw the preview. I don't know how much of it you told me. You told pretty much the entire story. And the job you did is amazing. And to see you guys and see what you went through to get to that stage blew my mind. So in seeing you, I'm like, all right, I got to know more. I got to know what it's all about. And I got to tell you, man, I'm let me say this without being rude, shocked that you guys still hit the stage every night because you went through so much to get that far. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm stupid. I just always had such a passion for it. I wanted it so bad. Sometimes you just know that you got to go down that street to make something happen, you know?
So my wife is in the house. She came out with you as well. And again, you made her birthday in the middle of Nashville, dude. And absolutely incredible. So,
well, we'll do our best to get up to your part of the country there and get you another show.
All right. Her birthday's in September. So let's see if we can do it.
Get my people working on that.
Amazing show in Nashville. I totally agree. Everybody, again, I'm going to keep driving this into your head till you do it. You should be doing it as well. You should be doing it as of 10 o'clock tonight. Go watch My Stupid Tribute Band, out now on Amazon Prime Video. This genius of a great musician / movie maker / talker is the spearhead of it. Nah, he shakes his head. I love the humble. Humble's what we're all about, because ain't nobody more humble than me. I'm the most humble guy I know, as you can tell. No, everybody, again, we'll reach out and we'll do this again, because it was definitely worth it. Mike Mraz, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great night, and we'll talk real soon.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
That's
My
really
pleasure.
nice. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
night.
Jewel, once again, people ask, why do you do this show, and what drives you? It's moments like that. That guy right there is smart, fun, funny, and even like he picks a little fun of himself in the movie, just like the way, like his character, and here he is rocking. He's perfect for the role because he's humble, but he believes in it. He loves the band. He pays awesome tribute to their music. I waited for this for so long. And again, as I say before, we take a shot. And a half hour after I sent him that email, he's like, let's do it. And I'm blown away. And I've been talking about it for weeks. Allie, who does the show Wednesdays, said, good luck. I know you've been waiting for this for a while. My wife's like, tonight's the night. How nervous are you? Oh, I'm dying. My face is beet red. But, yeah, man, talk me off the ledge, as I always say.
No, that's so cool. And just tribute bands, like, for me personally, B Street Band was playing on my birthday in Asbury Park. I'm like, I have to get there. I have to go see a B Street Band. Like, when a tribute band does that great of a job, you just want to see them. And again, because you get that full experience. You get that experience of seeing your favorite band, and you get to know the people in the tribute band. Like, these are amazing musicians, and you just get to experience that. He was saying the Beatles, man, I saw, and they're coming back, and I'm definitely going to try to see them. But they're called the Newspaper Taxis. These guys, it's like you're at a Beatles concert. Like, it's so amazing. And I'm singing and jamming, and like, Beatles are one for me where I know all the weird deep cuts. You know what I mean? So I'm like jamming to songs, and people are like looking at me. I'm like, this is the best. Like, but I will go. I will travel for that experience, because there's just nothing like live music, and seeing your favorite music live is something to be experienced.
I couldn't agree more. And I got, like I said, if Mike wasn't such a physical contrast to Angus, I feel like I was there. I mean, Mike's very tall, Angus. But like I said, Darren, there's like a awesome Brian Johnson, looks like him, gets the hat on. And I said the same thing to my wife. I'm like, I wonder how he does Bond. And his Bond and like, they're both like amazing.
Both. Who can do both? Like, he can. So
I tell you what, cool. Hats off to Bear Reigns, because he's with us so long, he knows the routine. My wife comes in, he jumps up and says, Cassie. Jojo comes in, and we love Jojo. Joe, I appreciate you passing by. And he comes down here and shouts her out. And you're the dude, man. He was here early, got a front row seat. I told him quiet on the set.
He's like, what are they called? The not the administrators. The chat. It's like they're the helper. I forget what it's called.
I don't know, but it's good. We
get
a good chat section, like Just the Facts, man, giving some great pieces. Lots of good tribute bands in Dallas, filling the mid-sized venues. I love hearing that too. Because let's face it, like, it's a dream of him to be a musician. And I'm sure, like he said, critics talk. And people probably think, go do your own thing. Well, he's doing that also. But to be on stage, entertain people, that's like his goal in life. He's doing it. You are a good boy.
I think I'm gonna start a Lana Del Rey tribute.
There you go. Can you sing?
Of course I can sing, Jeff. I'm a phenomenal singer.
Absolutely, that's true. We have the karaoke footage to prove it. Moderator. Oh, those moderators.
Moderator. There you go. That's what I meant. Thank you.
I'm going to leave the information scroll down the bottom for another minute or two, and just probably for the rest of the night, just so you know where to find this great band and the movie, etc., because it's all very much worth it. Like I said, Jewel just got done it recently, and she was like, man, it's great. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. My wife loved it, and I share it. And the other beautiful thing is I share it on my social media, and the band comes back, and they're like, thanks for sharing. I love that. Like, I don't have to. Not that I'm anybody special. I don't have to share it, but I do, because I love it, and I believe in it. and
Yeah,
they thank you
we
for it.
wanted our opinions too. Like we don't get that a lot. Like, well, what did you
Right?
think? Like, not many guests ask us what we think.
I know.
Oh, stop! No,
Evan, I'm telling you. You want to talk about
Jane.
having the look? Oh yeah, that's a tough voice though, right there. That's a
Yeah.
tough voice.
Yeah, she's got it.
You got the look.
Yes.
Maybe you could do a little Milli Vanilli and have somebody else sing it.
Hey!
Let's say.
I can't stand the rain. No, blame it on the rain.
Yeah. Oh, Jewel, here's one for you. Check out the Chris Cornell Experience from Dallas. Oh, Jewel's a massive Chris Cornell fan.
I am. Who would you
That's
be the tribute of? Guns N' Roses, AC/DC.
I know, right? Actually, no. I would, if I could, I would be in a tribute of Alice in Chains. I'm a massive Alice in Chains. I know Guns is my
Ooh.
band, but
I'm
Guns
going to
is
say
like,
Queen.
you know, Guns I'm sure has done a lot, and they're great.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains I don't see as often, and I love them, and they're such a great band, and I actually think I can carry a Lane Staley tune a lot better than I can carry an Axl Rose tune. Definitely can't carry a Freddie Mercury tune, for the love of God. No way.
That's why I love Lana, because I can actually hit a lot of. I mean, she's not the best singer, but she's a great songwriter.
Right.
Now, like Sia, forget it. Like that
Right.
girl is.
And there's those
Right.
stretches. There's those stretches of bands without the greatest singer, but the tone you present.
Mhm.
Like to me, like, and I hate to say it if there's fans out there, like Tori Amos to me really couldn't sing that great.
She was going to be on my list. She does a great cover of Creep. I think
Really?
she can sing her ass off. Really?
It's not like it doesn't blow me away like some musicians, but I think she's good. I think her style's good.
She's like a Fiona Apple.
I was because I had that with Fiona Apple too
Yeah.
until I found out that she went on a date with Marilyn Manson. He left with the porn star chick. What's her name? Jenna Jameson. He met Jenna at the same bar. They're on a date, and he left her at the table. Oh yeah,
Dude, I love Fiona Apple. I saw her live.
Phoebe Snow. Not familiar.
Don't know.
Do you want me to sing? I'll sing "Man in the Box." Oh, you're talking about the okay. Tribute.
My nose and shit.
Very good. We need more of those around here. We don't have enough tribute bands. She's good. Jewel could be the first female Lane Staley tribute band member.
Yeah, right.
Although
I
I
sound
could,
just like him.
I could sing more like Lane than the new guy. I can't sing like him. Not that he's not good. I just can't sing like him.
Yeah.
No. No. Fair. Very fair.
Fair.
Let's get to a few topics. We got some, and I know earlier in the program, our good friend Bear Rains had mentioned Leonard Skinner. I missed the post, but anyway, rest in peace to the last original Leonard Skinner band member, Gary Rossington, who passed away at 71 years old. Kind of amazing how a band can go on so long, bring in new members, etc. And this is it. The last original is gone. Leonard Skinner goes on. 71 years old, Gary Rossington. Jewel, for me, getting older just means losing great people that you grew up loving.
I know. And Leonard Skinner reminds me so much of my late brother-in-law. But he actually took me to an amazing, speaking of, so weird, but Leonard Skinner cover band. And it was at ASCO Racetrack. And man, they did Tuesdays Gone. They did like all the
Wow.
greats. And I love Leonard Skinner because of him. And that was a cool experience. And man, I wish I knew the name of that tribute band, because that was a great one too.
There's also a great Grateful Dead one that tours around here. If anybody I know remembers the name of that Grateful Dead tribute band, hit me with it. I can't remember. Speaking of hitting with it, Joey, tell the fans out there on YouTube what to do with their program.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on all notifications and hit that like button in the face. But don't break your screen. Don't do it.
Or
you'll steal. You'll steal
all their snacks.
She was wearing the Yosho shirt. Where's the merch, man? We'll bring it next time.
It was yours.
You did a good job.
That's okay. I wore a Slipknot shirt. I had a Highway to Hell shirt on, but my wife wore it last and tied it at the bottom. And I still can't get the wrinkles.
Just like that. Just like
right, sexy like. I still can't get the wrinkles out. The original Skinner 77. Wow, that's something there. I'm a big fan. Artemis Pyle, Skinner's drummer, is still alive. Right, this was for the newer band. Am I correct? So rest in peace. We hate doing the rest in peace things here, but sometimes we have to. Let's say hello to a couple of new people, as I mentioned earlier. My new friend Wilmer Elvis from Love Live Recording Podcast said, "I'm dying to see your show. I'm dying to hear about Back in Black." So thanks for tuning in, and thank you for being our new friend. Also, the group number One Percenters Entertainment. This is a California agency that has bands and records, etc. And they sent us two great acts we'll talk about later. They're going to come on the program in June. So we love to collab. We love collaborating with PR people, agents, bands, etc. Get you here on the O Show and get you heard. Right, Artemis was not an original.
Be heard.
Be hurt.
Hurt.
There's Julius. What was that thing you said? Listen to be heard.
Listen to be heard. Philly Radio.
Yeah, listen to be heard.
I like that. I like that better than your slogan.
What's mine? I don't know.
It's all right.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't said that one in a long time. I think yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we got an awkward moment here in the middle.
I mean, we have so much to talk about. It's like
we do. So we're going to get rid of. So, Jewel, this weekend, and I want to mention this real quickly. A great friend of our program who has helped us out with a lot of things, and audience member, of course, a lot, and he did the great artwork for the T-shirts, is our friend Steve Giordano. Steve, of course, helped design the logo, too, for the program. This past weekend, him and his wife run an amazing program called Elevate Dance Competition. And basically, they get schools from all around the area, hundreds of kids, roughly from, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 years old to like 18 years old. And they dance in a dance competition. They get awards, and they do this great performances. Here's what it looked like. That's how many kids were there. That's the stage during one of the award ceremonies. And I went in this weekend. They asked me to do a little something. I did some lighting for them. That's me sitting in a lighting booth looking like a big dork. Kind of look like I'm looking right now. I got my Yo Show shirt on. And Jewel knows, because Jewel's been at these dance competitions before.
I'm a dance mom.
Right, she is a dance mom. I tell you what, some good-looking dance moms out there, Jewel. So I can imagine. But it's just
I'm not a crazy dance mom.
Oh, there was some really shouting it out. Like, come on, Jessica! I'm like, poor Jessica. Bear, I'm telling you, man, it's phenomenal. It was up this past weekend. Like I said, I stayed there for the weekend. Absolutely, of course. Just such a fan of it. And like I said, it's so great. And like my friends are like, aren't you going to be bored? No. I mean, there was like a couple hundred performances each day, and one was better than the next. And the youngsters do a great job. The teenagers do a great job. The staff does an incredible job. My friend Steve, his wife Christina, and everybody that comes out to put this show on. And you get the nerves in the beginning. And like I said, I get it. We come on here Wednesday night. Seems like we're flawless, but we're nervous as hell. A lot goes into it. And they did just such an amazing job. And I was so impressed by the time it was all said and done. I was tired. But it was amazing. I thank you for that. See, I tried to work Jewel to get the good fades, and some of the girls want to walk off a little swagger and give us a little look. I want to make sure I held that. Yeah, get a little swagger. You got to give them that little swagger piece when they go off, So I want to make sure I gave everybody their moment. It's big for them. It means a lot. And the other girls are hooting and hollering the other girls' names, and they're rooting for each other, and it's this just awesome event. So I wanted to touch on a little bit with you, because I know, like I said, you've been there. You're a dance mom. What's it like for the kids? Because to me, it's like their moment of like celebrity, like they're the star.
Yeah, well, I danced, all through high school. Now Joey dances. She doesn't do competitions. I was just looking at her dance school's page because they also had a competition this week. I don't believe it was yours, but it's another level competition dancing on a company team. It's more intense. You win awards, and the company wins awards. So I've never experienced the competition team feel or days, but yeah, it's nerves. It's exciting. I know when I dance, it's just like I'm the shyest person in the world, but get me on a stage and doing like choreography and I'm good for some reason. So
Really?
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure leading up and there's so much time and energy and, you know, rehearsal that goes into it. But yeah, I mean, these little girls, I mean, they're so amazing. And I could watch that stuff all day. I know recital time is exciting as well. So, but yeah, competition, that's like a whole other level of like seriousness and you gotta be like on point.
It's a, I got to say, very fair and firm competition where everybody gets the recognition. Everybody wins an award of a certain level and they get judged on a certain level. So everybody's in it, you know, with a little something in return. And the schools that win the bigger awards go absolutely nuts for it. It's so great. But I was amazed. Your friends do something, you hear about it, you're like, I can't wait to see it. And then it comes up and he's like, look, we're looking for somebody to work the lights. I'm like, okay, look, it beats sitting at a bar all day. Let's go, you know, let's take a weekend
It's so important though. That's a huge job.
It is like the light. I'm nervous. He's like, right, you gotta switch up and down, make sure you get the brake color on. I'm like, ooh, every single time. But it's just such an experience. And the moms and people running in and out of the aisles to make sure to get a good seat. And guys are hanging over me to take a picture, trying to get the right angle. But to hear Steve talk about it, to hear his wife talk about it, and to see him in action and realize how great of a job they do with it, I'm hooked. I could do this every week. And my wife's like, I'm so jealous. I'm going to be there watching kids dance. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's amazing. My favorite, I don't know about you, my favorite is the tap. I love tap dance. I love the sound of tap dance.
I was so sad this year because Joey decided to do hip hop instead of tap. She always had, I mean, ballets. Like,
hip hop is my second. I like that too.
Yeah, but hip hop,
it's tough.
It can go one or two ways. It could be like corny or like, but tap is just classic.
You see a 5-year-old girl like kind of kicking her hips out. You're like, this is awkward. But yeah, I love the sound of tap.
Mm-hmm. Her recital last year, it was the seniors, and they did. I have chills thinking about it. They did this tap routine to Dream On.
Ooh.
I was like blown away. Like it was incredible.
Yeah, I love the way they tap to the music and tap in between the music, and everything is so flawlessly worked out. I could go on, and my wife's like, I'm shocked at you. Like,
Jeff, you are officially invited to Joey's dance recital.
I will be there. I would love to see, because I know the sass she brings here, and I know the sass the girls bring on stage. If she has any of that kid's a show stealer right there.
Her hip hop dance is 24 karat. And see, I'm just like, oh, I hate that song.
Well, that's why I got early night. I got tired of the nosebleed section at the ocean. You got to get right down in front. Tickets sell out fast. There's no playing around here. But that was the thing. Best seat in the house. You're sitting up in the little booth that's got the lighting and all. And I made my own little deck with a seat so I could see great. And man, what a moment. I thanked them. It's great. And I told them at the end, like, you guys do an amazing job. They really do. And they're getting bigger. Like, they got a ton of schools that come, a couple hundred kids on that stage, man, living it up, enjoying life and dancing. Excellent.
Yeah, there's so much time that goes into that. But when it comes together, it's great.
Oh, it's hard. Watching half the moves made me hurt just thinking about, God forbid, my
Like I remember when I used to be able to do those things.
I couldn't even walk it. I'm like, my back. Watch these kids jump around and dance around. A lot of nerve. So thank you for that, Steve and Christina. Awesome. Actress January Jones is coming out to the casting directors and said, no more viral auditions. Get back to your offices like the rest of us. Like, all right, COVID was quite a while ago. And I don't want to say we're all safe. It's all over. But people are back at work. People are back in the office. And here's an actress. I know January Jones, of course, from Mad Men. She's telling the casting directors, get back in your offices. Jewel, your thoughts?
So I actually got this from our good friend, David Howard Thornton. And he agreed with January Jones. And just interviewing all of these actors, actresses over the past couple of years, it seems like they all have the setup now. They all have the same gray backdrop, like set up to audition. But when it's just different. It's different when you're talking to someone over this type of platform. And I couldn't imagine like auditioning like through through like a computer screen.
I
You know what I
know.
mean? And like delivering the same kind of energy as opposed to like, you know, a table full of people and you're trying to really get the reaction. You
Sure.
can't
That's a
feed
good
off
point.
of anything. I mean, you can, but like, I don't know necessarily like, I don't know. I guess it depends on your setup. It depends on like who's watching, but there's a different feel, I guess. But yeah, I guess she's over it.
Yeah, I know, right? And she's had enough. And, you know, we talk about doing this show and being ourselves. I can't imagine being anybody else on camera, like, because this
Right.
is me. And I know I get a little bit of nervousness in me just talking to some of the
Like
guests
an
we
act.
had. Right. So I can't imagine faking it at all. So,
Or just performing in general, you know what I mean? And one of the perks, I guess, that we have heard over the years is, well, I get like so many auditions done, like bang, bang, bang.
yeah,
Like, you
true.
pump out like 12 auditions, but you know, are they what you want it to be? Or are you feeling the same way as if it was in person? So I don't know.
But I agree because I had a couple of interviews before I landed my new job. I had interviews that were virtual, and how do I know if I'm coming
Weird.
off?
It's a little
Right, how do I
weird.
know if I'm coming off good or not? I'm like, I'd be great for this company. And they're like, next. I'm like, I got one sentence out.
I
Like,
guess it's the feedback because here, I mean, I love it. I love how we get to see everyone and
yeah,
and we're so excited but we're also like engaged. I feel like with an interview or an audition, it's like, yeah, I don't know. You don't get the like the air in the room.
Yeah.
You don't get like the tension.
good
I
point.
guess.
Like,
don't know.
I think like the human resources department should be in the chat section. Like, this guy sucks. Nice
Yeah.
tie. You know, at least he dressed nice. This guy looks like an idiot. Stuff like that. Like,
Or
you
do
know,
they have all these people in the background? Like you just can't see them.
rename? Oh, Jesus. I mean, thought of that.
Yeah. My virtual interview was like, I was scared as shit. It was
Right?
scary. But
Make sure you got the right
I got
light.
it, so.
The dog's barking. My wife's
Uh,
talking to me, walking down the steps.
distractions too. Yeah.
You're basically sitting there staring at this person saying, I know I'm not getting this job, but here's my 5 minutes.
But on the other side, like for actors, it might be like a comfort level. Like I'm at home, I can wear pajama bottoms.
Right.
So,
I mean,
you know,
I'm wearing pajama bottoms right now. You just can't tell. Little moment for Bear Reigns. Don't go nowhere, Bear. I got you. I got you covered. The one and only Miss Jeffany, ladies and gentlemen. That is one ugly face I'm making there. I'm ugly. I'm actually an ugly woman. You think I'm a handsome man?
I don't know. I don't know.
So, Jewel Tatey, as well as a young lady who took to TikTok, and doctors, etc., are telling us, do not wear a claw clip and drive, ladies. Jewel, that's the claw. Thank you. Great timing. And I knew you had it ready because I was going to ask you to show us the claw clip. Seems innocent enough, right?
I do it all the time. That's why I.
And
like,
I,
oh shit!
I assume it's easy enough to throw your hair up and just go, but apparently
I have them in my visor. Like they are
Really?
round. Yeah.
So this girl takes to TikTok with this video, and apparently doctors say that if you get into an accident, this thing can embed itself in your skull. What?
I'm so aware of like what's on my lap or like what I put in front of Joey when we're driving. Like, what if we get into an accident and like whatever's on your lap, you know, comes forward. But like, dude, and I should know because if you come to a hard stop and your head jerks back, like you should feel it. But like that shit with impact,
Oh,
the doctor said she has seen more freaking claw clips in women's heads. Like it could kill them. This could kill you. Look at that thing.
look at that thing.
Huge.
That's.
It's like the size of my face.
I'm always up for women having their hair down. Listen up, ladies. Wear the hair down. Take the extra 5 minutes and comb it. No claw clips. God, that when you sent me that story, I'm like, what's this mean? Because you read the headline. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm blown away by that story.
I know. You just don't even think of it. And I'm always aware of like what's in front of me, like what's behind you.
Right. Good point. You never think about it. Even when you're
Yeah, little
rear-ended,
ones.
you think you're safe when you're rear-ended because it's just bumper impact. But I've got I always carry a bunch of crap in my car. God, man, one of these days.
Or I think, what about your glasses?
Oh, I think about that.
What's in your and then
They're plastic though. But still,
still, that
still.
shit's plastic.
Sharp piece of plastic ain't helping nobody either. Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude, I got like this.
Ooh.
Ugh. Now I'm never driving again. I need somebody to start driving me. Because Lord knows I can't do it. I was rear-ended and had my neck broke. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Moral of the story, women, keep your heads down in the car. Absolutely. Well said. But then again, can you imagine an accident during a roadhead situation?
How did this get here?
Well,
air clips.
women, keep your heads down in the car.
Oh, heads. I thought you said hands.
Man,
Oh gosh. All right.
First of all, men, it's going to get bitten down on awfully hard. Second of all, the woman's head's going to go through just, I don't know, we got a mess on our hands. Don't do anything but drive, period.
10 and 2.
Park if you got to get that other thing going.
You know, 10 and 2 isn't the standard anymore. It's like, you know,
It's
10
12 and,
it's a gangster lane.
yeah, it's a 12 o'clock only. Man, do not wear. So, Jewel, I'm going to mention this to you, and I'm probably going to say the guy's name wrong, but I didn't realize it was such a big deal until I seen the ad come out. Apparently, comedian Matt Riffy is coming to Parks Casino. Rife. Okay, Rife. I knew I was going to get his name wrong.
Yeah.
Is this big a deal? Like every woman that I know pretty much needed a panty change after seeing this advertisement. Tickets go on sale Friday, Joe, in case you're wondering. I don't even know much about this guy. I watched his clips. I was like, is he like the new big thing?
Guess what?
Tell me.
I've seen him. He opened for Dane Cook when I saw him.
Wow, about
I'm like,
that.
He is really funny, and live it's even better, obviously. But yeah, I just watched his newer stand up. He's really funny. He's very easy on the eyes.
I was gonna say that I still didn't get. Like, I mean,
You know what it is? I think it's his voice too. Like he's very he's Midwest, but he kind of like talks like Eminem. So it's like, I don't know. He's a cutie, but he's very funny. I have seen him.
and I guess that's because it was all women. Like no dudes could care less. It was all women and tagging their friends. Like we gotta go to this.
Oh yeah.
So I said to Cassie, maybe I'll get tickets.
And he's very
realized
flirty.
now.
He's very flirty with like the women in the audience too.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that'll do it. I just missed Dane Cook. He was here last weekend at Parks.
Yeah,
But,
he
opened for him back when.
But apparently, it's a big deal. I hate to plead my ignorance, but I figured I'd ask a female.
Well, did you watch Chris Rock? Because I did.
You did why I have not watched it. That was our next topic. I'm glad you said that. Selective Outrage on Netflix, which got some mixed reviews. You've watched it, which is perfect, and I know you do that stuff. You read books, which I'm just not a book reader.
I read.
I
watch.
Give us your side of this because I've got the opinions that I read in here. What did you think?
I thought it was the least funny Chris Rock special to date. I don't know. It just wasn't hitting. Like his stories were weird, and then the whole Will Smith thing. Like I get it, but like it wasn't hitting. It wasn't funny. I maybe like chortled once, but like I don't know. He went off about the Kardashians, Beyonce, obviously Will and Jada. He's like, everyone thought Will was a bitch. He is a bitch. He must have called Will a bitch like a lot of times. Like, do you want to get hit again?
I know. I don't understand what does Will Smith have to do with Chris Rock? No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. We've all been there and seen it. But I've been hearing it, and so many people said it wasn't funny. Like,
no, and it'd be different if it was like funny, but he was like messing up jokes, and it was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. I had to like look away and listen.
Some people said maybe like it's his age. What's he, 58?
Yeah, and he's like, I'm rich. Like, okay. Like,
yeah, that's
we know you're rich. And then Jada's camp like responded today, and they were not amused. Well, I bet you're not amused by anything.
Exactly. Like you sleeping with your son's friend's dad and stuff, and
No, her son's friend.
or son's. That's even worse.
Yeah.
You're cheating on Will Smith.
And then you're interviewing Will Smith about, like, I cheated on you. That was one of his jokes. I was like, huh, because she interviewed him about her cheating on him.
Yeah.
Like, how did that make you feel?
I don't know. I heard
mess.
I heard so much bad press about it that I wanted to throw it out there. But and of course you get the Facebook Nation, and no disrespect to people who see this on Facebook, but it's like it's all that monkey see, monkey do thing of, oh, Chris Rock special, I'm watching it, and everybody's tagging, everybody's like, is it good? Is it good? Is it good? Watch it yourself, number one. Number two, you don't have to announce it. We know Chris Rock's got a special coming out. Everybody's like, oh, I'm watching it. Like, it makes you this better much of a person. Okay, it's out. You know what he's going to say. But you bought into the publicity stunt that this whole thing is a publicity stunt. And you're all buying into it.
Yes. And can I just make an observation? Because I've
Please.
watched a lot of stand-up this week for some reason. But Chris Rock and then Matt Rife kind of did the same thing where they would talk about real instances, but like it was almost uncomfortable, like the stories they would tell. So it wasn't hitting the audience. Like the audience is like, am I allowed to laugh? Whereas when you watch Dane Cook, like it's clearly a fabricated story. So it just makes it that much more funnier because it's like made up and it's like animated, but like they go so personal that it's like, I don't know how to feel about this. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, even like, oh, he's going to call Will Smith a bitch 1,000 times. Am I supposed to be laughing at this? Like,
yeah, like Adam Sandler, like he'll say, "Who did it? Who?" Like, and that's
how did you?
Right? Or make up a story about, I don't know, just some dog in the park. I don't know, but I guess the true to life, hard hitting, like offensive stories aren't funny to me. I'd rather watch slapstick comedy, honestly, than hear that crap.
I agree. My stand-up comedian things, like, I'm on a level of maybe like a Jake Johansson who just tells obnoxiously weird things. Like, they're funny, but they're weird.
Exactly.
And you know they don't happen. He's like,
Right.
imagine if kind of thing. And you're like, oh my God, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't think he walked into it. Not him. Who's the other guy? Really funny. He talked about going to the UPS store and measuring, I forget it. Brian Regan.
Okay.
And he does the Fig Newtons, serving size 2 cookies. Who the hell eats 2 cookies? Like, something that's funny.
Shit like that. Like Seinfeld.
Right.
Like, did you ever go to the place and then you open
Who
the thing?
are these people? Right, exactly. Like, I like that.
Right. Not, oh, I know Tom down the street did blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like even Will Smith and Janet. Apparently, my neighbor's sleeping with my other neighbor, and you're like, "Whoa, what?"
Especially when everyone knows the story, I guess. Like everyone knows kind of what happened. Like you don't have to bring it up 100 different ways. You know what I mean?
He had an opening act. Who was his opening act again? I forget. Another famous comedian opened for him.
Chris Rock?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got to look it up because it was another famous comedian.
Yeah.
Who was
like
it?
Out now?
Yeah, it was on the latest. It was on that show you just watched. He had an opening act, another comedian.
Well, not on that one. Maybe before.
And he pretty much came out and said, "Look, if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing on live TV, stop doing it because we're live. So if you're like on a date and your wife's at home, leave. If you're going to say this, you're on live TV, leave." Oh, Jeff Ross. And Jeff Ross is offensive and funny, but he's like, look, there are right and wrong times. If you're doing something wrong at this time, you got to beat it because this is getting filmed live. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
no, it just wasn't hitting, man.
When we went to Murphy's, I said it to a couple of people. I'm like, look, don't say nothing out of line. Don't be running around with another woman, etc. Because you're getting filmed here.
Rice was
and
filmed.
we had this.
Everyone on that floor was pretty much filmed. If you were there, you were filmed.
Oh yeah, and we had quite a crowd. So chances are, we saw your butt. The rock band.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Is this weekend still on, or probably not?
I don't know. They said rain or shine, and then I was told if you want, since the parade might be rained, it doesn't help us. But they are having an after party. I'm going for a little bit because I got dinner later on the day in Conshohocken. If you want to come up, and they're still having the St. Patty's stew and a little bit of an after party.
Oh,
Cool. I
cool.
think around 3-ish. I might stop in for a bit. Yeah, it's our
I
good
gotta
friends
go
over.
see Ray too. I want to go see some Irish music.
I'm telling you, Ray. Well, if we miss Ray for Irish weekend, you can catch him a lot at Dagwood's, and
Mhm.
Dagwood's has just the best food. So I'm telling you, it's a night.
Yes.
It's definitely worth a night.
I love Dagwood's.
So do I. The food is phenomenal. No, I'm not getting paid for that plug. People are like, "You get paid?" No, I don't. The rock band Kiss, speaking of getting paid, has announced the final 2 ever shows. Apparently, this is it. The final tour will end where it began. I know exactly. In Madison Square Garden, December 1st and 2nd. The band was recently on Howard Stern, Jewel, and they did a rendition of course, Detroit Rock City in the studio, which always makes me jealous. I don't want people to be in our studio singing.
No.
But like Howard's like, job, Paul, you're really still hitting those notes. Like, well, I am 70. He's not hitting the notes like when he was 30. He's 70. I'll be lucky to get out of bed when I'm 70. So,
like, I don't know. I feel like some people are like, shut up. But Bruce, I feel like his voice got stronger as he got older.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Paul
It's
Stanley's
stamina, man. It's like
when they hit notes, they used to be like, woo, 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 and now they hit him like, woo. You're like, all right, he's tired. Woo. Yeah, you can definitely tell. I got to read this story. I got to say this. My friend was at the Super Bowl game years back, was on TV. His friend was with him, with a girl. His friend's wife saw them on TV, arm in arm, and his stuff was outside. That would happen to me. I mean, I can't imagine.
How embarrassing.
I know, right? Your wife's at a Super Bowl party, like, I know that son of a bitch.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
and the Super Bowl? You ain't taking your wife to the Super Bowl, you asshole.
That's balls. You got like
rules for the divorce right there.
My wife took to football for the last few years for my sake. Matter of fact, my Jason Kelsey jersey just got here and it's upstairs. It's big, but I like them. I like the jersey's big. I got a Kelsey. No, I do not. I love that song, by the way. But what was I talking about? Oh, Kiss. In the end, some of the Eagles just Super Bowl. Even if my wife despised football, pretty sure I'm still bringing her to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the halftime show,
right? I sure hope this guy got laid at least. Since he brought some.
God, I went to Orange Bowl and Sierra performed. I'm so excited for not only the game but like Sierra and like a Penn State football game. Come on now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's living right there. That is definitely a bucket lister. Speaking of people getting paid in abnormal situations, Paris Hilton talks about the sex tape and a lot more in her new book, Paris, the Memoir, which I just mentioned a few minutes ago how Jewel reads books. Pretty sure, Jewel, this is a book you're not going to read.
I feel horrible for her. Like, she really went through it with that school, and she was all kinds of stuff happened to her there. And then this dude, and he royally screwed her over. Like, I feel for Paris. I'm actually so happy that she found someone who she loves, and they just had a little baby, and good for her, man. Like, I used to talk mad shit on her because I just didn't like her. I thought she was fake as shit. But like
a lot of people did.
I feel so bad for her. I don't care if she has money or not. Like, she had a hard time.
I used to not like you see, you get so wrapped up in how she acted. You're like, ugh. But she's a pretty girl. Yes, she's got entitlement because she grew up with all that. But she says in the book, and these are more or less her quotes in so many words, that where the heck is it at? There it is. So she had to drink herself silly and take Quaaludes to help her get through this sex tape because former boyfriend Rick Salomon was like who she calls Scum. It's his nickname.
Oh, he's a pig.
That's what I heard. And he was adamant. Like he just kept insisting, like, we're doing this video. We're shooting this video. And she's like, I wasn't really about the video, but he was so down for it. She's like, I really had to goof myself up. Like, I was not comfortable. And it's kind of a shame. It's a shame no matter who you are. Like, even Pam Anderson comes out now, like, look, sex tape, it got out. I got nothing for it. I got no money left from it.
But she didn't mean that to get out, though. Like,
right.
Pam
Exactly.
didn't. Okay, I'm always up for book suggestions.
He's definitely
always.
up for book suggestions.
But yeah, Paris. It's sad because you wish that Paris knew the power she had then. Like she's a powerful girl, you know what I mean? And to be taken advantage of by this scumbucket, like that's just
She calls
Kim the same way. I mean, well, that kind of made Kim's career, but
yeah, kind of.
Pam, I feel bad for her.
Right, Pam is.
Pam, I love Pam. Did you see her documentary? I
haven't watched it yet.
Love her so much.
She was really railroading people. And, again, 2 sides, 3 sides every story. Like I said, it's wrong how she's railroading everybody now that she's past her stardom. Everybody's like, no, not true. You don't know what went on. She basically is telling you there's pigs out there that will flash their bodies at you and expose themselves and treat you a certain way to get something because they think they're somebody.
Or they thought she was somebody, and she's really... I always liked her. Man, I saw this documentary. It was like years ago on MTV, and like Baywatch days, but she's just happy at her beach house with her kids and her dog, and she's dyeing her own hair. Like, I always liked Pam. I think she's a cool chick.
She is. She's not quite what she was in the looks department, but hey.
She just played Roxy Hart in Broadway. She's like over 50 years old. Like, she's doing it. It makes her happy.
She's definitely doing it. We're past schedule here. So tomorrow night, of course, is Yo Show Wednesday. Bree Teller will be our special guest tomorrow night. So make sure you check out Bree. Great local musician. Was on American Idol. She's got a lot to talk about. Can't wait for that. Coming soon on our show. Do not forget, next Tuesday night, we are here live. You're going to see Jeff. You think Jeff was nervous tonight? Wait till next Tuesday when I'm up close in person with the amazingly beautiful Miss Betsy Russell, wonderful actress. Yeah, I love Betsy. She will be here next Tuesday night, the 14th. March 21st, a great musician, Kate Boytek, comes to the program. March 28th, we welcome back Hale Sagan. Sagan Amory and Nick Quiano will both be here from Hale Sagan. Excited for that. Have we ever done video with Sagan?
Nope.
No, so it's going to be first time. She's gorgeous too, so get ready.
And
Nick, right. We had a little chime in from Nick briefly.
Uber talented.
Oh, Nick is super. Has been in some big time bands. A lot to talk about there. Like I said, they're a great couple. Great power couple of music. She's cool. He's like a super badass guitar player. She's hot. They got a little Hale Sagan on the 28th. April 4th, we welcome back a super group, original members of Collective Soul, former member of Scott Weiland's band, and others invented the great band Mojo Moji. They'll be here on April 4th. Can't wait for them. April 11th, super dude, local guy, great party promoter. His team is the Party Nerds, and he is Darnell Hicks. He'll be on the program on the 11th. Can't wait to talk about the Party Nerds. We have nobody on the 18th yet. April 25th is Jeff's birthday, so we don't know what to expect. You know how we do birthdays around here. May 9th, a great one. I know Jules Ant. We saw them at the Future Stars show. Jewel fell in love with this band, loves their music, loves their stuff. Got a brand new album coming out around that. Strange Culture on the program. May 9th. May 16th, another band from the Future Stars show. Young Kids, love them. Just won the Nazareth Talent Show and Battle of the Bands. Modern yesterday. Great Young Kids. Can't wait for that. May 23rd, another band from that show, Stealing Society. Will be with us. May 30th, Rebecca Folsom from Impact. She's one of them Impact artists. She'll be on our program. June 6th, as I mentioned earlier, the gentleman I got to see open for Back in Black, Timothy Dial. We'll be talking about his other band, Tethered. Oh, God, my God, I forgot the name. He's going to kill me. Kill me later. Timmy, I love you, buddy. He's coming back on the show. He was extra small and I had my heart attack. He decided to come back. June 13th, one more of those Future Star bands, Sunrise Cries. And if you're friends with me on Facebook and you've seen the video about the girl that sings Led Zeppelin, everybody's, man, who is that girl? That's them. June 13th, Sunrise Cries is going to be on the program. June 20th and 27th from our brand new friends that we made today on Instagram. Mick and Maxie will be on the program on the 20th, and on June 27th, another band, Thunder Pets. I am so tired just from saying names. I am worn out.
I think you just glitched.
I glitched?
In
Possible.
real life.
Real life, I think I did too. I'm like, I had a guess.
Great show.
Yeah, Allie just said great show too. Your timing's amazing. She just typed in and said great show. I had a great time tonight. A massive thank you to Mike Mraz. She's good. Definitely good. I just want to get the names real quick again before we leave. It is One Percenters Entertainment that brought us those last two acts and be coming on in June. And of course, a big thanks to Wilmer Ellis from the Love Live Rocking podcast. He covers tribute bands. That sounds like a great show. I'd like to check it out. Make sure you check it out. Huge thanks to Mike Mraz from Back in Black. Don't forget all the links have been on the bottom of the episode. You can check out My Stupid Tribute Band right now on Amazon Prime Video. It was the #1 movie. Back in Black, Instagram, The Real Back in Black, Facebook at Back in Black. Check them out. Definitely worth it. Thank you, Bear. And we're going to get out of here right now with the music of St. Ricketts at www.stricketts.com. It is where fire cannot burn. We did miss Moist tonight. I'm sorry, Allie. Thank you for the late chime in. What the heck happened with Fire Cannot Burn? What happened to it? Why am I not getting it? What happened? There it is. Thank you. My beard does look moist. Thank you to the great people of Moist Collective, www.rumoist.com. Jim Hutton, I promise to do a better commercial tomorrow. We'll do better tomorrow. Thank you for stopping by. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye. Volume up? Now it is. Hit it.
Was it truly blessed and the taste of it poison deeper than you know? Kindly answer this. Was the point of it just to reach new heights of low? So I'm pulling the anchor and drifting away, blinded by reason beyond disarray. It's what fire cannot burn. It's what fire cannot burn. Wanted to embrace what it takes for it, pouring salt into the world, willing to erase what I'd lose for it, to accept what I assume. So I'm pulling the anchor and drifting away, blinded by reason beyond disarray. It's what fire cannot burn. It's what fire cannot searching for something, destined for nothing, losing composure over and over. Truly blessed if the taste of it poison deeper than you know. Kindly answer this. Was the point of it just to reach new heights of love? So I'm pulling